Hi, friends. Hello. Miss Morgan here. I'm so glad you could join me today for another sing-along. Let's see. It's today. I'm trying to remember what day it is. Hey, Sarah, what day is today? Today is Monday. There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 It's hard for me to not sing that when I'm thinking about the days of the week. Well, today's sing-along is called The Wasp. We will learn more about the wasp in a minute. But how about we sing, shall we? And we say goodbye to the birdies. Say bye, birdies. We are going to the forest in our imaginations. You ready? Come, friends, walk with me. Come, friends, to the trees. There's so much to learn, so much to see. Come, friends, to the trees. That's right. Will you sing with me? I hear Sarah playing the shaker. Here we go. Come, friends, walk with me. Come, friends, to the trees. There's so much to learn and there is so much to see. Come, friends, to the trees. Now in music, there's something called a key change. You ready to do it? That's where we go a little bit higher. Here we go. Come, friends, walk with me. That's right. Come, friends, to the trees. There's so much to learn. Yeah, there's so much to see. Come, friends, to the trees. Ba-da-ba, to the trees. Ba-da-ba, to the trees. Come, friends, walk with me. Thanks, Sarah. Let me show them what you're playing. Did you hear Sarah playing that? My friend Sarah? That's called a shaker. If you have some percussion instruments like the shaker, you can play while I'm singing and while we're singing. Isn't that fun? Thanks, Sarah. Well, today we are going to learn about the wasp. I bet you know what a wasp is. They fly around, and sometimes they're a little scary, aren't they? I have to admit, I sometimes am a little scared of a wasp because some wasps can sting. They don't go after you trying to sting you. They just might get scared if you move too fast. They sting when they're maybe scared. And they also use their stingers for something else, which we'll learn about. But my tip to myself when I'm afraid, when a wasp is flying around me, I stay very still. And the wasp might come up to me. Maybe the wasp is confused and thinks I'm some sort of flower. When the wasp figures out I'm not a flower, it'll fly away. So the best thing to do when a bee is near or a wasp is near is to freeze. Let it fly. And then it'll fly away. If you move, because you're scared, you might scare it. Well, a little wasp tip. Okay, let me see. What did I ask myself when I was setting out to research the wasp? I asked myself, what do wasps look like? Where do wasps live? How do wasps, that's kind of hard to say. How do wasps help us? What do they eat? Why do they sting? I already gave a hint for that one. Do you want to see my wasp? You know how I always draw a nature friend when I'm learning about it. Look at my wasp. Do you see it? Do you see this part down here? That's this particular wasp's little house. We'll learn about how he builds that. He's kind of cute. He's got his foot on his house. Let's see what I learned. Well, what do they look like? Well, they can be lots of colors. Remember, when we talk about nature friends, sometimes there's more than just one kind of wasp. There's more than one kind of daffodil or oak tree. There's different subspecies, they're called. Can you say that? Subspecies. So this is a certain kind of wasp that often the wasps are brown. Where are my notes? Brown, black, and yellow. And that's what I made this one. I made this one kind of a black. He has a little yellow in his legs. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Do you see his long legs? His little tentacles? And he has his two wings. I think, I didn't really read about this, but I think his stinger is somewhere back here. Maybe that's something you can research for me. Could you do that? Find out where the wasp stinger is. I think it's back there on the back. Let's see. Where do they live? Well, I found this kind of interesting and fascinating. This kind of wasp makes his house out of chewed up wood. He kind of chews up little bark pieces, and then he spits it out in kind of a paper-like consistency. So this kind of is a little bit like paper. Isn't that amazing? How does a wasp turn bark into paper? Well, that's a mystery, but it's pretty neat, I think. So there's the little wasp, and it has, I bet you've seen these. I had one kind of on my porch roof. Kind of sticks up there on the roof. And then the little wasps were living inside these little, almost looks like honeycombs. They were kind of living out inside there, and I could see the back part of them and their wings. They were all living inside these little holes. It was amazing. And I just watched it carefully and enjoyed kind of observing the wasps that were there. So they make their nests out of wood, and that's amazing. Wow. How do wasps help? Well, wasps help farmers who grow our food because they eat little pests that might bother the farmer's food. So the wasps kind of take care of the farmers in a way by eating the pests. A pest might be like a little insect that might kind of want to eat the farmer's plant. And before it eats the farmer's plant, well, I guess the wasp eats it. Wow, that's nature for you. Well, let's see. Oh, and I also learned that the wasp is also a pollinator of sorts. I guess I learned not quite as much as the bee. Do you know that word, pollinator? That's an amazing process. When the wasp sees a little flower, maybe on a tomato plant, he might go over there and get a drink. And then that helps the tomatoes grow. If the tomato plant doesn't get pollinated by a bee or a wasp, well, those tomatoes won't grow. So do you see why the wasp and the bees are so important to us humans? they help the farmers grow our food. Isn't that amazing? I have a story for you. Oh, a while back, I noticed a wasp nest in the house where I lived before I lived here. And it was kind of in the window near one of my rooms. And one day, I noticed that the wasp nest came off and fell on the floor. And guess what I saw on the floor? I saw little spiders that weren't alive anymore. A whole lot of little spiders on the floor. And you know what I realized? That is what the wasp eats. One of the things the wasp eats is spiders. And then I had a garden under that window, and I had some tomato plants. And I would often see the wasp on the tomato plants helping me grow tomatoes. So when I saw the spiders on the floor that were in the wasp nest, because when it fell, all the little dead spiders were on my floor, I realized that in order to have my tomatoes, I needed the wasp and I needed the spiders, because the wasp eats spiders. Nature's amazing, I'll tell you that. Well, maybe just a couple more things about the wasp. Well, what do they eat? I already gave you a hint. Yep, they all might eat little spiders. They eat a lot of things, actually. Fruit, nectar, which is when they go to the flowers and they get drinks. They eat other insects, and they eat caterpillars, which is another thing that when farmers are trying to grow food, they might appreciate caterpillars kind of being eaten by the wasp. And then I wanted to tell you what I learned about the wasp and why she stings. The wasp stings to protect herself, or maybe the queen wasp. And the wasp also stings when it's looking for food. It might sting that spider, and then that's how the wasp kind of gets the spider, by stinging it, because that probably doesn't feel very good to the spider. I know it doesn't feel good when I've been stung by a wasp once. So that's a little bit about why they sting. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, queen is the largest. The queen is the largest of the wasps. She lays the eggs. The queen wasp. I wonder if I can pretend that's the queen wasp. All the other wasps take care of her because she lays the eggs. She's a very important wasp. Species? How many? How many species? Sarah wants to know how many. I read there are 75,000 wasp species. Isn't that amazing? That's a lot. They live everywhere. The only place they don't live is Antarctica. So there's a lot of wasps around. Remember we talked yesterday about native species? And I was telling you how the forsythia is not a native plant to where I live, Ohio. Somebody brought it over here a long time ago from a different country. So it's not native to here. The wasp apparently is native to everywhere. But if somebody took a wasp to Antarctica, then it would be non-native to Antarctica. Lots to learn. Wow. Well, how about another song? Okay, for this one, wonder if you can get up and dance. We're spending a lot of time in our homes, aren't we? So any moving around that we can do, the better. This one's called Nature Rocks. I wrote this a couple years ago. Nature's cool. Look at all the things that we can do. That's right. Well, you can climb a mountain, you can climb a tree, swim in the waters of the deep blue sea, open the door into your own backyard. To find cool nature, you don't have to look far, cause there's over 10,000 species of birds, another 5,000 mammals you never heard, a million insects to blow your mind. Nature is cool, that's a bottom line. Nature is cool, that's a bottom line. Yeah! Here we go. Nature rocks, nature's cool, that's what we wanna be. Nature rocks, nature's cool, that's what we wanna be. Nature rocks, nature's cool, what we wanna be. Nature rocks, nature's cool, that's what we wanna be. Yeah! Yes, it is. Oh. Listen up. Nature is cool, that's what we wanna be. What up? Nature is fly, and nature is free. Get out! No computer screen can ever compare to all the sights, all the sounds when you're walking out there. It's time to put down the cell, turn off the games. Yeah, the iPod, the berries, and all the screens. Yeah, and wake up your mind. Get up, get out, and leave the gadgets behind. Oh, nature rocks, nature's cool, that's what we want. Nature rocks, nature's cool, that's what we want to be. Nature rocks, nature's cool, what we want to be. Nature rocks, nature's cool, what we want to be. Yeah, are you dancing? Yeah. Oh, are you grooving? Yeah, yeah. Get up, get out, put down the games. Get up, get out, do the real thing. Yeah, get out, put down the games. Get out, do the real thing. Get out, put down the games. Get out, do the real thing. Get out, put down the games. Get out, do the real thing. The real thing, the real thing. Nature rocks, nature's cool, oh we wanna be. Nature rocks, nature's cool, oh we wanna be. Nature rocks, nature's cool, oh we wanna be. Nature rocks, nature's cool, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nature rocks, nature's cool, that's where we wanna be. Turn it off, unplug it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you were dancing. I could see you and I could hear you too. Yay! Well, I am so glad that you were able to come to the sing-along today. I'm looking that someone said hi. Here are my glasses. Let me see who that is. Hello, I see Spyro. Hello, hi there. Thanks for saying hi. You can always write a little message to me in the live chat. Just write a message, hit return, and I'll see it pop up there. And then I can say hi to you. Well, before we sing our final song that I always like to end with, remember to work on your nature journal. See if you can learn more about the wasp. Ask yourself some questions. What do you want to learn? And then you can research. Maybe you can draw a picture. So work on that today. Remember to get outside, lots and lots, in your yard if you have one. If you're lucky enough to have a yard, you can go outside, walk around, and observe like a scientist what's going on out there. You can look at the birds. You can look at the ground. You can look at the squirrelies digging up their nuts. I saw one of those today. Digging up in the ground. There's lots to observe out there. And our nature friends can keep us company, can't they? They sure keep me company. And remember that all our nature friends All of them are important and have a purpose. And nature needs kids. Nature needs you. And kids need nature. Kids need nature. Won't you sing with me? You can dance too. Nature needs kids. Kids need nature, from the tallest oak tree to the smallest creature. Nature needs kids. Kids need nature. Become the great student of this great teacher. Yeah, open your eyes, open your ears, sit down in the middle of the forest here. Listen to the wind, the birds and the trees. They got a great tale to tell you and me. Yeah, nature needs kids. Kids need nature, from the tallest oak tree to the smallest creature. Nature needs kids. Kids need nature. They're counting on us to be their protectors. Oh, turn off the tube, turn off the games, walk outside and make a difference today. Plant a new tree, clean up a stream, make the fishies home nice and clean. That's right, from the great bear to the whales of the sea, the songbirds and the bumblebees, the tigers of the east, the rainforest too. You need them, and they need who? You. Nature needs kids. Kids need nature, from the tallest oak tree to the smallest creature. Nature needs kids. Kids need nature. Become the great student. Become the great student. Become the great student of this great teacher. Woo! Nice singing. All right, friends. I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, 2 o'clock. Be well. See you then.